Okay, this is going to be a very quick video on some little things we have to do to put our rig ready to be shared. So let's just do that. The first thing is you wanna make sure that you don't have any nodes that are outside of a group locator or a hierarchy somewhere. They have to be always parented to something in here, either a group or be part of a hierarchy somewhere. So in our case, we're good. We've been meticulous about that. The next thing is we want to reset everything so the transforms are back to 0, and we're gonna do that on a control by control basis because since we changed some of the mechanics of how the rig works, I'm sure that there are some transforms now that we don't want to see somewhere. So let's start with the FK rig. Our clavicle looks fine. We have a position change in this guy, but we don't want to go to him. We want to go to this guy. Actually, that's a nice, interesting. Okay, no, I'm pick walking. I did something. I think I went sideways on a different hierarchy, but this guy, he seems to be okay. This guy, he's okay. The hand control seems to have transforms over here. We're gonna see in a second what those are for, but first let's take care of the IK control so the arm goes back into play. So let's reset this guy's position. Fine. Let's reset this guy's position. Okay, he's already in position. And so let's see what's up with our hand. So because the hand changed parent, remember, he's now a child of this constraint object. Now there's an offset here because his previous parent was in a totally different location over here, which was a forearm. So we need to take the hand and reset 0, I mean its position. So now it's zeroed, rotations are zeroed. It's okay. Let's see. Yeah, position, it has been zeroed out. Looks like there's an extra scale channel over here. The rotation is zeroed, which is what we need. And looks like this position 0 object has no values in it. I mean the channel. So let's see what happens if we delete it. Apparently nothing. So it looks like we're good over there. Let's see. Who else needs to be checked? Our friend here. This guy has quite a few values in there that we really don't want to see. So let's zero those out. Let's zero everything. Let's check its channels. Looks like we have some empty channels in it too. Let's delete those. Now everything is back to 0 and 100%. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure why we had those extra channels with nothing in them, but in this case for the hand there is one actually storing some offsets for rotation, which is fine, but we don't need this scale either. So we're good over there. And since we're at it, I'm gonna check the other. This guy, he's storing some offsets. And 2. Looks like all the rest is okay. So the last 2 objects I want to check is these guys. So him, this is the one for the arm space, and this is one that we actually want to zero out. No, not reset. Because him, the animator will be working with it. him we don't have to worry too much about him. And we're later on gonna lock lots of things in the rig, but for now we're gonna leave it like that. And the other thing I want to do is I want to start hiding some stuff. So I'm gonna create a group where I'm gonna put a lot of things that the animator does not really need to interact with. So let's go to our groups tab and create a new group, and we're gonna call this group Ace Hidden, and we're gonna say it's an empty group because I have nothing selected. I could just left it selected, but there's nothing, and it's a standard group. So now that it's there, I'm gonna go over the rig and start hiding stuff that the animator doesn't really have to deal with. And for that purpose, I'm gonna go back to the items list and first hide all the controls for IK and the controls for FK. I'm gonna leave the rest displayed. And this is the stuff that we want to hide. So we're gonna take this locator, the IK bone, joint, sorry, the IK joints, and all the locators are part of the rig. Let's start with those. Go back to the group and say add items. So now those are part of the group. And the thing is, look, if you hide the group, those items go away. So that's nice, because then you can just create a group and add things to it as you work, and they will be hidden from the animator's view. If you ever need to come back to them, then all you have to do is come back and unhide the group. Let's add those, and we need to hide this guy too. That's much better. And we can do the same for the other side of the rig, even though we haven't really worked on the arm and clavicle setup for that side of the rig. We can start just cleaning up stuff from view. And this guy, and this guy, and this guy. There you go. Now we have a much cleaner rig, and now I can go back and display my controls. Looks like there's some objects here that are part of the controls group. These two guys. Those three we actually don't need to see as part of the controls group. They're there because we needed this special hierarchy for the control hand to still be visible. But these guys don't belong to the controls group. So we could actually separate the hand, the control for the hand, and then just constrain it to the constrained hand control, and take these guys off and move them over to a different group. But for now, I'm just going to leave them there and add them to the hidden group, like that. So we'll see later if we want to do the constraining thing and just get these guys out of the controls FK group and put them in the in a different group locator or some other rig group that we will create. But for now, that's good enough. So this is pretty much it. We're done with the housekeeping. Oh, hold on a second. There's another fellow over there. Who is he? Oh, it's the parent object for the clavicle. Yeah, he also needs to go. There you go. Now we're done. This is what the animator will actually work with. And we're good. So we are pretty much done with the entire rig for the arms. We can now move on to different part of our character's rig. So let's keep going. Well, there's just one detail that we need to take care of before we go on to completing the rig for the rest of the character, and that's the finger controls. We have not yet done any work on the finger controls. But honestly, this is going to be the most straightforward, simple thing you've probably done so far. And all that it involves is, first we're going to check that each joint and their respective control are properly aligned. And then all you have to do is orient constraint each joint to its control. So how do you do that? Well, I'm going to say my drop operation to match. And then I'm going to select each control and drag and drop it over to the respective joint. And we've done this already before, but I just want to make sure that there will be no problems whatsoever when it comes to doing the constraints. And as you can see, everything is fine. If there would be a problem, you would see the control jump or move or change a little bit. And that means there was a little offset between the joint and the control. But so far I haven't seen anything, so I think I can safely assume that the rest of my controls are properly oriented. So I'm just going to proceed, go ahead and do all the constraints. Let's turn off compensation, go to modifiers, and we're going to just select each joint, its control, and do a rotation constraint. And we're going to do that for each one of these guys. So after this, all your joints will rotate, being driven by their respective control. So I'm going to pause the video here because I'm just going to repeat the same thing all over again for the remaining joints, and I'm going to come back when I'm done. Okay, I'm done. Everything is done. So you can test it just by, let's grab one of the root joints for one of the fingers. Let's double click on it to select the entire hierarchy, and let's go to local and rotate, and you should see something kind of like this for your finger happening. And that's it. That's all we need to do. That gets the fingers going. So that completes the work. I obviously assume as you progress through the videos that you're repeating the same things for the opposite side of the character, so you can go ahead and just constrain the joints on the other hand. And now we are actually ready to move on.